I wanted to give you guys a few tips though on how to actually increase your initial list. It's important when you go out there that you do understand your training appointments are a crucial part to your long-term success. In fact, our best people are not necessarily people that know a million people, but they are the folks that take their training appointments seriously. They are people that go out there and get as many rotations as they can to increase their proficiency and their comfort working with customers. Because again, sometimes when we're new, we're not always going to be our most confident or best demo. That's just natural, not sometimes, all the time. But when you're seeing people they're not judging you, they're judging the product. And the product's going to stand up to that. So that's why when you do training appointments, not only are you going to learn a lot, but you're also going to get some really exciting orders. But that's just because the product is so great. When you're seeing people you don't know, not only are they judging the product, they're kind of judging us. And that's why it's important to get really comfortable by doing as many training appointments as you possibly can, particularly when you're new. So there are 4 levels to customers that we're going to meet with in our career. The first level are those people that you're extremely close to, friends and family, your 5 best friends' parents that you know really well, your old boss, and your youth pastor. Most people have 10 to 15 of those that they're really, really close to. The second level are people that you know, but you're more acquaintances. People that you knew at school. Okay, people that are just kind of a degree of separation removed. People you worked with at another job. You don't know them super well, but you definitely know them. They know you. If you were to say, "Hey, this is Brian from Starbucks," they'll immediately be like, "Oh, how are you, Brian?" The third group is people that you don't necessarily know, but they know you. Okay, and that third group is really large for most of us. This would be like your parents, friends, or colleagues. This would be like your all your friends' parents. Okay, you may not know your friends' parents super well. Probably your closest friends you do. But like if you played on a football team, there's a ton of people on the football team. You don't know each of their parents super well. But when I speak to people and say, "Hey, I played on the football team with Trace," they immediately that's a powerful connection. They know who I am. Maybe they don't know me intimately, but that connection is strong. And those are actually great people to get some rotations with. Because again, it's still going to be a comfortable setting, but you really can go through and get that true demo in. The fourth level is recommendations. Okay? And so just like in a car, you would never go from first gear straight to fourth gear. I never want people on my team to go straight from their closest contacts to recommendations. It's important to start working through those concentric circles. Long term, all your demos will be with recommendations, but that's why it's important to maximize those early times. So a couple quick tips on seeing people you know. Number 1, be bold. Okay? Eventually, everyone will see Cutco. The only question is it by you or someone else? We love to talk in my office about how everyone has a chicken list. And these are people that we know are good qualified Macs and we probably could book a demo with, but we just kind of don't want to because we're a little bit chicken. And I would challenge you guys to try and really get over that. Obviously, you never have to show Cutco to someone that you don't want to. But if the reason you don't want to is just because I haven't talked to them in a while, or I don't know, they might think I'm weird or something like that, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not the right way to be thinking about things. So when you go through this, make sure you understand everyone's going to see Cutco eventually and may as well be from you. So here's the standard you should hold it to. When you look at this list, you ask yourself, that person I'm hesitating on, if one of my teammates went and saw them tomorrow and sold them an ultimate set, what is my response going to be? And I can tell you 90% of your list, you'll look at that and go, dang it, I wish I would have gone and seen that person. Okay? If that's the case, that's someone you should see. All right, so number 1 is be bold. Some of those folks that you're nervous about, they will be your best customers. Number 2 is understand that your perspective of time will change as you get older. Sometimes we talk ourselves out of reaching out to someone because we haven't talked to them in a while. It's just been a little bit. I'm going to really challenge you guys to try to have a mature understanding, especially for my student workers. For my students, 3 years ago was a very long time. It's like 10% of your life. That's more than that. It's 15, 20% of your life. Guys, for me, 3 years ago was recent. Man, that was like super recent. To your mom 3 years ago was like yesterday. That's why your mom says, I knew when you were this tall. I remember when you were a baby. I remember you doing this. Okay? Y'all, I'll tell you straight up, to your grandmother 3 years ago was so new, it's practically the future. Okay? So sometimes for you guys, maybe if you hadn't talked to one of your friends in a couple years, that might feel like a dead end. But honestly, a lot of those are really nice, cool people that would be more than happy to help you out. In fact, I figured out pretty quickly that I could actually use Cutco as an excuse to reconnect with people that I never really should have lost touch with to begin with. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. Smile, just keep dialing as many numbers as you can, and it's amazing how that's how you'll start to reconnect. All right, guys. Well, the biggest tool that you really have to maximize your opportunity when it comes to your training appointments is creating a top 50 list. Now, you don't necessarily have to use a sheet like this. It's kind of what I like. But you can do this on just a sheet of notebook paper. Or you can do it however you want. But when it comes to that top 50 list, this is really what's going to allow you to go out there and effectively make the number of calls you need to really fill up your schedule and maximize your first couple weeks in the job. We'll just say that. Sometimes people have that thing where they say, man, I can't wait to show people I don't know. And again, I get it, but going from that first to fourth gear, it's never going to work. It won't treat you right. You need to get the chance to ease into those recommendations. I'll just tell you this, just to kind of challenge your thinking on that. Usually when we say that, we're just kind of nervous about, what if people aren't into it, or what if someone kind of judges me, or they think I'm weird. And, guys, be confident in the product, be confident in the value you have, and give people the opportunity. It's okay if someone decides they don't want to buy Cutco from you, but you getting a chance to still go do that demo, it's going to be important to your growth and development. You're going to learn, you're going to grow, and you're going to get better. And the reality is these people are going to see Cutco eventually, and a lot of them are going to buy stuff. So when you give them the chance, it definitely should be from you. So how do you create your top 50 list? Well, the reality is, when you're going through this, I always start with directories. If you did any sports, if you were in band, if you did basketball, if you were on debate or student government, there's usually some kind of directory, and those families can be a really great resource. They very much fall in that third gear, people that you may not know super well, but trust me, they definitely know you through the association you have with their family. Neighborhood directories can be great, church directories too. Not that you would call every family in the church directory, but you could use it to help you brainstorm. Who are those couple families that I'm comfortable with, and maybe I just didn't have their number or I hadn't thought about yet. When you start doing this, don't worry about numbers at first. Just do names on a page. And, it's amazing once you start doing this, how it really starts rolling. Going from 0 to 50 sometimes seems a bit intimidating, but honestly, going from 51 to 297 is pretty darn easy. In fact, one of the easiest things to do is just go through the contacts that you have in your cell phone. Okay, your cell phones in most cases are full of mutual friends, students, people that you've met at different engagements or parties, and I get it that those people are young, but every one of them has a family. So yearbooks, directories, any of those sorts of things can be really, really great. And don't be afraid to really level with friends and family and just share with them, how hard you're working towards your goals. Sometimes when we first meet with people and we get recommendations from friends and family, they really are trying to almost like protect us, and they only will recommend a couple of people that they think are the most likely to be willing to see us or to buy some knives. Well, it's okay to go back to the well and just say, hey, you know what? I'll take some lookers, even if you don't think they'll buy. It still does really help me get towards my goals. Y'all, it's totally a numbers game. The more demos you do, the closer you're going to get. The more sales you'll make, the more money you'll make, the more recommendations you get. And so, don't spend time prejudging individual people. Just focus in on max. As long as someone is married, 30, 60, living in a home, there's no such thing as a bad demo. That's for sure. Now, once you've gotten those names down, to get numbers, okay, how can you get numbers? Well, whitepages.com can be a pretty cool resource to find some of those numbers. May not always give you the best line, but it'll usually get you something. Mutual friends and acquaintances can be another really powerful one. Family members' address books, don't steal them, okay? But if you came up with some people and you're not sure their numbers, asking around to mutual friends, mom and dad, sometimes they can help you track a few of those down. But honestly, the easiest thing is Facebook. There's never been an easier time to reconnect with people that you've lost touch with. And, I think I made this point before, but I figured out early on I could use my time with Cutco and Vector as an excuse to reconnect with people that I shouldn't have lost touch with. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. So when you actually get a chance to go dig those numbers up, if you do message people on Facebook, don't type out the whole approach, okay? Don't fall into bad habits. Just send someone a message and say, hey, it's been a really long time. I hope you guys are doing super great. I actually had a quick question and I'd love to catch up. What's your cell? I'd love to just give you a call and maybe talk to you about some stuff I'm doing right now. Okay, so nice and easy, totally transparent, but don't type out the whole script. That's not the right way to reintroduce yourself. Guys, when you go through and do that top 50 list, when you work on delivering your phone approaches with a lot of confidence and enthusiasm, sky's the limit and your schedule will be as booked as you decide to be. So thanks for your time. I hope you guys have a fantastic day.